That's a blooper. Hey, welcome to the show. Today's episode, I have Gabe Nolasco, one of the Latino comics here in Vegas. And we're going to talk about that. We're talking about being like a small minority group of comics in the city. And, how does it feel? How do you want to be seen? He has his own show going on now, teamed up with some other Latino comics that I'm hoping to have on the show one day. It's every Friday. Go check it out. It's called Latino. If you're in Vegas, go check it out. Other than that, let's listen to the podcast.
Thanks for coming. Cool. Thank you, man. Appreciate it, dude. I know I've been listening to the podcast. It's dope.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, awesome. Like most people don't.
Well, there's podcasts, you know what I mean? Like everybody's like...
There's like a billion podcasts. I don't even keep up with the ones that I like, so... True.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard listening to shit, but I like the title.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I like the title. You do?
Yeah, because I don't know how far back you listened, but it was supposed to... What still is, like I didn't know nothing about comedy, where the mics were, clubs at. Like, once I got into it, like, all of a sudden I started seeing, there's a bunch of comedy spots here.
Yeah.
And that's what this was, like, people who want to start. Like, I didn't know where to start, who to go to, where to go, how do I sign up, is there rules or whatever?
How'd you find, how was your first spot, or what was it?
So my first time, I was just scrolling on Facebook, and randomly Happy Earth's open mic challenge that we were having at the time came up, and I was like, let me just do it. So I signed up at the middle, 2:00 in the morning for that same night's competition.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and I was there, and it was me, Gabe Castillo was there, DJ was there, and I think Harvey was there. So it was just us four there. And I was like, all right, cool.
And it was first time, everyone's first time, or is it
No, they had already been doing it for a while. It was my first time, just my very first night. So I don't know, I wrote whatever I thought was funny, practiced it, did it, and then I was like, all right, what do you guys go for? Like, what else do you do? Like,
yeah.
I didn't. Who's the open mics? That's when
I started rolling.
Yeah.
Dude, I moved out here 2008, so this was like pre Facebook and all that bullshit, right?
Okay.
And I didn't really even like MySpace, I think, was around, but no, you know what I mean? I didn't know anybody out here, so I grabbed one of those weeklies.
Newspaper. Also.
Yeah, the newspaper shit, and it said the bunkhouse down here somewhere. You know the bunkhouse, yeah.
It's on Rancho, isn't it? Or am I thinking it's something else?
I know it's down here somewhere in downtown.
I might be thinking someplace else then.
And then yeah, I did the same. Like I said 8:00. I go up, and it was crazy because I was trying to find comedy for 2 months, 3 months.
Okay.
And I couldn't, and I found that spot, and then I signed up, and then.
Oh, that's cool. That was my first question. So why did you start comedy? Like, what made you let me get on stage?
I think it was always on the back of I was that goofy kid, you know what I mean? Always, I always had I was never into sports. I was. Are you into sports?
A little bit, not enough. I wasn't going to every game. But,
yeah.
You say who Kobe is, LeBron.
Yeah, you're exactly. But I didn't have anything like that. When we were kids, they used to play sports. Like football and shit, they would pick me last, you know what I mean? And then at that, they'll pick me to go on the other team, you know what I mean? I want him to go over there, you know what I mean? But and I was the youngest out of all my brothers and cousins, so then I just had that imagination and shit.
That's dope, yeah.
And then,
so you say we're looking for 2 months though for a spot?
Yeah.
How did that work out? That made you let me do it, but what started that 2 month process?
Well, I started doing comedy in San Francisco.
Okay.
So then, I was working. I was out of high school, a couple years out of high school, and then my mom was like, you should look into acting. You know what I mean? I was just I don't know what I want to do. She was like, you should look into acting or something. And I always wanted to do comedy, but it was just kind of one of those things maybe I'll do it one day. But it was just, it's just kind of like more scared of it. You know what I mean? Because I didn't really understand it. I didn't really know. Yeah. But my mom was like, here's a flyer. You know, she found a flyer because I used to work with my mom at the hotel. And she was like, listen, she's like, I'm going to get out late, but here's a flyer. I found this flyer and you should go check it out. So then I was like, all right. So there was this place called The Brainwash, kind of like close to the hotel where me and my mom used to work. And then I was like, everybody was bombing. I was like, yeah, this dude, they suck. I'm funnier than this shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm way funnier than this shit. And
then you go up and what happened?
Oh, dude, it was the fucking worst experience. Like it was like shocking type shit. You know what I mean?
And you're like, oh, we all suck.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. I was like, I didn't know it was that hard. Cause you know, you think that you're gonna go up there and just be like fucking Eddie Murphy and shit. You know what I mean?
I mean, exactly. The way like when I'm practicing in my head, it goes so much smoother in my head. And then
you're like, what? It's just like that spotlight. Get on, be funny. And at that, this place, The Brainwash is it was a what's it called? A cafe laundromat.
Oh, okay.
And it was like nothing but homeless people there.
People doing laundry.
People doing laundry, homeless people taking naps, and then comics. So nobody's really listening to your shit. You know what I mean?
I get you. Yeah, it's like being at the dive bar. Like, I guess I'll compare it to, you know?
Definitely. Yep. The dive bar. Yep. Straight up. So
no shit talking on the dive bar though.
Just, dive bar is a classy joint. Yeah, it's a classy
place. They're to toughen you up.
It is true though.
Yeah. I mean, there's been times that I don't want to go up. There's like no one listening. Then you just gotta go up sometimes for those moments. And like when no one's listening, you're like, practice.
Well, one thing that like no one ever told me about stand up is like practice on not giving a fuck. You know what I mean? Like practice not, and those places like that will help you with that. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. Because I've seen I've seen you and I've seen others, and we go to like the dive bar places. Chocolates is one place. Mm-hmm. You know, they have a crowd in the front, but the crowd in the back usually can't hear you or they're not paying attention. Dive bar's open mic, but there's people in the front. Sometimes majority of the comics in the back just chilling, hanging out. But then there's even shows like that where the crowd was like, you're not the main attraction. You're not the headliner for that night.
Right.
So they're not focusing on you too much.
Right.
But you guys are still going up there. You're doing the material. You're still doing the same antics, the same energy if they were.
Yep.
So that's why I see the practice going up. No one listening. You're still practicing. You were like acting. You're rehearsing your movements, your cues.
True. Yep. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the beauty about it, because it's like, even though you don't know, you know what I mean, that you're practicing, sometimes you're just, you're in your head, you're like thinking about, like, what am I going to say next? I'm bombing, damn, I'm sweating. It's still though, you know what I mean? It's like, it puts you there in the back of your mind subconsciously. You're like, fuck, I've been here before. I used to go to the dive bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And especially the not giving a fuck part, you're more relaxed. You're already like relaxed. I'm just goofing around, because we like goof around and talk. Mm-hmm. And we're just being funny without trying to be funny. That's the natural comment. You're just naturally funny, trying to bring that to the stage.
Yep.
And once you hit that moment, because I've noticed this last week actually, people weren't really into it. Mm-hmm. And I just made some comment like, you guys aren't even here for comedy, aren't you? And they started laughing. I'm like, y'all just here to crush my dreams, And that was just me not giving a fuck. And then from there, it picked up a little bit, because you're just like, laugh or don't laugh. Okay, I'm having fun now.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. That's the thing we forget, to like have fun. Because when we don't, it gets too serious, and then you're just like, you just lose that humor. You know what I mean?
You're too focused. You're too like, I'm gonna make this punchline exactly word for word like this.
Right.
And it's gotta be chilling conversation, like, hey, whatever.
Yeah, those are those fun moments where you're just like not worried about the silence. You know what I mean? Like worried about like too quiet. Because when I started, I used to just. So I was at the store the other day, and he's just like, and then I got a cousin, and it's just like nonstop, like trying to get laugh and shit. Like, slow down.
You sound like that. What's that guy from Avengers?
What's his name?
I can't remember his name, but everybody knows. Like he just
stopped talking.
Yeah.
You're just like
you're trying to 5 minutes into a minute, like
right. Yeah, you're just like because you're trying to get the jokes out, you're trying to get the laughs, and then it's just like everyone's like, okay, you're getting laughs, you're getting this, that, but then it would have been 10 times better if you're just like in the material, you know what I mean? Like in the room, like, what's up? The fuck was I talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, I've been told I'm funny. Like when I'm like, I've been told like naturally I'm funny talking, just talking in general. I don't know what it is. Someone told me like I started just talking. I didn't even start the material. I was like, hey, what's up? And then you just started laughing. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna tell my jokes yet. I literally just said my name. He's like, yeah, but the way you say it.
yeah.
You know, finding that voice and like, I don't know what it is. Like when I talk, I think I'm just talking, but some people are like, no, you say it funny. Like I just ordered a chicken sandwich. I don't know what's wrong with that.
Everyone's laughing. Do it again. Say it again.
No pickles.
Yeah. Everyone's dying.
Yeah, but then to take it too serious and then you don't have that magic and you're just like, no pickles.
Right.
It's not even funny. Like, no, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, you try too much. That's what I'm saying. Like not giving a fuck is like one of those things. But that's yeah, I wish somebody would have told me that in the beginning. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, and then one time this guy was like, I did a show. It was like the first year. Then he goes, and I was dying. I was bombing on stage, like hard. And then he pulls me aside, right? He's like this veteran, seasoned comedian or whatever. And then he goes, hey, you know why you wasn't getting any laughs today or tonight? And then he was like, because you're trying to be cool. And I was like, what do you mean? No, I wasn't trying to be cool. And he was like, tell me you didn't see those 3 hot girls in the front. And there were some 3 hot chicks in the front. Like they were just like, you know, so they were distracted. And I was trying to be.
Like, hey, you girls listening?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, what's up? Yeah, I'll go to the store, you know. Mm-hmm. And he's just trying to be like Mr. Cool. And it just like bombed. And he was just like, so are you doing comedy to get laughs or to get pussy? And, you know, in my head, I was like, both. But he was like, you have to pick one because cool is not funny. Mm-hmm. So he was like, if you're doing it to get pussy, then being funny will get you there. You know what I mean? So at that time, yeah, of course, you know, it's like, I was like, no, fuck it. I want to be funny. Fuck pussy. Like, like that'll come later. Like, I want to work on this, you know, being, so ever since then, I was like, all right, it's okay to like really be yourself. You know what I mean? Like, because that Mr. Cool facade bullshit, you know what I mean? Like, you see it on stage. Some of these guys, they're
just trying to be impressive.
Right.
And you're like, oh, I got people back home who find this funny. Like that's
right.
That's cool. Go back to them because you're not doing that here.
Yeah, like, yeah, you know, like I'm the funniest motherfucker in Oakland. You're like, okay,
I just don't know comedy. Like,
right? You're like, okay, well, finish bagging my shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? They're like, but yeah, that's one thing that always stuck with me. Like, no, don't try to be cool. Just be funny. Just be. You know, like, do you have a, like something that makes you comfortable? You know, kind of like
when I'm on stage?
Yeah, while you're on stage.
A beer in my hand.
Is that that's your base?
That's the beer in my hand. I know, yeah, because I like at some point I start to talk with my hands.
Mm-hmm.
And on stage, like, I hold the microphone. I want to play with the microphone because I like to fidget.
Mm-hmm.
But with the beer, it's kind of like,
yeah,
like, kind of like I treat it like a wand a little bit, you know. The beer makes me comfortable.
Yeah, so then that makes you feel like. Does that make you feel like you could like deliver jokes better?
It does, and I'm intentionally trying. I don't want to make it a crutch, but I've been using it. If I tell a joke and I hear laughter, I try to take a sip at that. Because I've had the problem where I started running over my jokes too soon, and then I don't get over the laughter. You know, I was doing like you were saying, I just started rambling next to it.
Right. Yeah, I one time another thing that stopped me from like rambling was stopping grabbing my chin. Like I'll stop and grab my chin. Okay. You know what I mean? And then it'll be like it'll look like I'm thinking of a next bit. You know what I mean? Or next, I'll be like, oh, so yeah, and I just broke up with my girlfriend. You know what I mean? So it's more natural. So I see the sipping thing might work. You know what I mean?
I mean, it helps because drinking just helps me relax, anyways.
True.
But like you're doing the chin, like same thing, sip. Like,
yeah.
I'm done
It's
sipping. You're done laughing. It should be perfect timing now.
Yeah. It's like that. Yeah. Somebody told me, hey, why don't you stop for a little bit and grab your chin? I grab my chin. That shit's weird. Just do it. And then deliver your next turn. You know what I mean?
That's actually good. I was about to ask you, like, because you said it made it look like you're thinking about the next bit. You ever think, like, if anyone ever calls, like, why do you grab your chin like you're thinking? Do you not know your jokes?
No, I mean, I think it just mainly helped me. I don't want to do it too, like too much. You know what I mean? Where it's noticeable that I'm doing it. So it's just kind of like, if I feel like I'm going too fast, then just stop and be
Gotcha. Okay.
All
right.
Okay. So, but now it's like, now I feel myself if I'm speeding, I go, stop, slow down. You know what I mean? In my head, I'm like, okay, slow down, dude. So then you're just like, you're honest and you're in the room or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you start talking, hey, cool shoes. You know what I mean? Or and then just whatever gets you to break that fucking rambling. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, that's good because I didn't know it'd be something someone told you to do. Like the way you explained it, I thought someone told you like maybe you should stop doing it like you're thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's a good way to do it. Like having some kind of cue,
Yeah.
To beer, to chin.
Yeah, slow down, dude. It's like you're hanging out. And sometimes too, like I try to like look at somebody in the crowd and then see if they remind me of somebody that I know. You know what I mean? Like, damn, this dude looks like my cousin. You know what I mean? I'm gonna like mentally talk to them or like deliver everything their way. You know what I mean? So I'm like comfortable. Yeah. Because that's who I'm comfortable with. Like, there's always somebody in the crowd that looks like somebody. Like, you know what I mean? That's okay.
Okay, so yeah. So it's kind of like when people do public speaking, like picture one naked, so you're comfortable.
Right.
But you're doing like, you look like my cousin, and me and him get along great.
Right. We have that humor. So I'm gonna just deliver everything. You know what I mean? Like talking to him. You know what I mean? Or even just, even like talk to him or just like not even acknowledge it, but just help have it in the back of my mind. Like, all right, this dude is, he's familiar.
Okay, no, that's a good tip though. I never thought to be like, who do I feel like? And I've had, friends outside of comedy come down to show sometimes. And I do notice that when I see them, I'm like, okay. It feels a little better because like, all right, like I'm comfortable with you guys talking.
Yeah.
I never thought to just mentally bring them in. Regardless.
Yeah. Because I'm always like thinking like this feeling right here that I feel, because it's nerve wracking, right? Like I get nervous. Like it's like fucking my, you know what I mean? So your brain, it's like it feels like I'm about to get on a roller coaster or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the butterflies in the stomach.
Yeah.
Yes, every time.
You start bugging out and shit, and then I've seen guys do like push-ups and you know what I mean, like jumping jacks in the background. I'm
like we're in a fight.
Yeah, like you're all right, dude. But it's like I'm always trying to like glue that that vibe or that mode, you know what I mean, on stage. Like, so if we're like having fun, if me and you are like at a bar just talking shit, I'm like, this is what I want to take up there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I want to, you know what I mean, that energy there. So
yeah, that's exactly. And I made that point across on the other ones. Like, I just want to be having a conversation with just a bunch of people. The same way I'd have a conversation one-on-one. That was a bunch of people. Same thing. I want to feel there's no different me going up there or being up here. It's finding your voice kind of way. Like doesn't matter whenever, wherever, it's you.
Yeah.
Authentic.
Well, I think like subconsciously too, like the lights, the people, the strangers, and then it's just all that pressure kind of pulls you away from like that. You know what I mean? Like, so sometimes I go, this is just a fucking barbecue party or something. You know what I mean? And because when you're at a party, what are you doing? You're just fucking drinking, talking shit, being funny, being yourself. You know what I mean? And it's like it's the same like place or same situation, but without the fucking barbecue food or whatever. Or sometimes there's even food there, you know what I mean? But
that's a good tip. you're finding a way to ground maybe ground yourself every time. Get mentally in where you want to be mentally.
Right.
You prefer to be.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, this is what I feel right here. How I'm fucking like talking to my nephews or whatever. Is like that's what you know what I mean. It's like it works. It's hard to remember to get there.
Definitely. Sometimes you just space out, like.
Yeah.
And I haven't had as much practice with as big audiences or small audiences or different venues like you. But yeah, there's sometimes I'm just like sitting, waiting for my turn. I'm like, oh, this is 4 people in a dark room, tiny room. Like, it's gonna. Yeah. Then I get up there, and then it feels like there's 1,000 people for whatever reason. And then I was feeling comfortable sitting down, and all of a sudden I'm not. Let me get back to whatever makes me comfortable to be in front of 4 people for some reason. It's weird.
Yeah, So sometimes like even those like performing for 4 people can be fun. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, like, oh, there's only 4 people there. I'm not going up. You know what I mean? Like, what? Get up. Like, see what comes out, and then you have like the best time. It's like 4 people can give you so much shit. You know what I mean? Like, what do? And then it makes you work on your crowd work and shit like that. And, just like fucking getting to know somebody. You know what I mean?
It's always an opportunity.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, that's good. That's good tips. Before we go off too far off, because that was actually got good tips in here. But I always have like a theme, for everyone I interview. Like, there's something they did that made me like, I would like to know more about this. So this is like a lot of good tips. So there might be a part 2 to this.
All right, yeah.
But the thing I really want to talk to you about, and it's something I don't really see a whole lot here, and it's been mentioned, Latino comics in Vegas.
Yeah.
There's now you got your shows on Friday, Latino. But before that, like, there really wasn't much. Because you just barely moved to Vegas, right?
Well, I was here in 2008.
Okay.
Like 2008 to 2016.
Yeah, right.
And it was the same, like, maybe one other Latino comic. But there wasn't really like, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I hope someone can correct me, but there wasn't that many. Yeah, like I don't remember anybody like that in it. So
yeah, exactly. And with Adam, like whenever there's another Latino name come up or show up, he always makes the same joke about how, I forget who it was, told him, who are the Latino comics in Vegas? He's like, you and Kool-Aid, Adam and Kool-Aid. That's the joke he makes every time, because there was really no one.
Right.
And that's one thing that got me thinking, like, wait, who are the Latino comics?
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, so 2008, 2009, I was out here. I don't remember any. Maybe there was Anthony Padilla, but I don't remember when he came. But then Freddie came out here, and then Freddie was like another Latino, and then in the scene. Like, I don't remember, like, yeah, and then Adam came, and then now there's you, and then, is that it?
There's a new guy, Jesse. I think he's been a year in comedy almost. So he's the full-on Cholo Latino too. So.
Oh, really?
So he fills all the boxes for us. And then Damien.
Yeah,
he just moved. He filled in. Ty, he's Mexican.
Ty, yep.
So
we're growing.
Yeah, we're growing. We got up to 4 or 5.
Yeah. Well, is it like even? Wait. Are you from here?
I'm here from Vegas.
Yeah. You're from Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm from the Bay, and that was one of those things that I've always wanted to like perform in like a full Latino. You know what I mean? Like a full like whatever show. You know what I mean? Like. But, after a while, it's like, I just
perform anyway.
Yeah. Do you feel like being Latino? Do you feel like they're just like you have to have Latino material?
No, that's the thing. Then why I want to ask you something similar, because there's no like I have a Latino bit. It's my premise is like why I don't like to date, or why I like to date white girls. And it works decently around, white girls especially, because they can relate to that portion of the joke.
Mm-hmm.
To not so much anyone else. I managed to do it like twice in front of a Latino, and they loved it. You know, they loved because they saw the full picture of where it was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I try to do that joke in any other crowd, in an urban crowd, they don't really get it too well. You know, like I said, white people, they get the last little bit that's for them.
Mm-hmm.
No. So that's why I'm like, I don't really focus on much Latino bits because like no one's really gonna relate to it.
Right.
And I know I should work on it to make it relatable so you can see it from any angle, from any race, or whatever. Like, oh, I see what he's talking about. Yeah, I got a cousin or a friend like that, but it's never been the pressure to do it.
Yeah, if it's not there, it's not there. You kind of like, nah, I don't want to do it. But I mean, I think like I try to like go around, you know, with like if I'm gonna do it, what else I can talk about? You know what I mean? Like, you know, there's just kind of like breaking the stereotypes, not too much like doing the hacky shit with like oranges and all that shit because I didn't grow up like that. You know what I mean? I didn't grow up. Like I didn't grow up like I guess if you want to say typical, you know, like what people think Latinos are, you know what I mean? Like what Mexicans are, like so a lot of my material is like me not being that. You know what I mean? Like if I'm gonna talk about being Latino, like I'm like, that's, you know, that's not who we all are. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I try, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I do go into like full like Latino jokes and shit, like
because I know you got the burrito joke.
Yeah.
Which I think is a really good one because from the Latino side, you can see the joke, the points you're making, the jokes. You know, you're picking on them a little bit because of the language. You know, there.
Right.
And then on the other side, anyone who's not Latino who speaks English clearly, they also can see the miscommunication.
Right.
So that's one of those jokes. I'm saying like it works no matter what room you're telling it.
Yeah, that's what it's like because that really happened. He was ordering the burrito with olives, and then the lady was confused. She was like, I don't know if she was confused because she's like, I've never heard that. You know what I mean? Like who puts olives in a burrito? Yeah. But then at the same time, like it took hella long for her to make the burrito because she honestly went all the way to the back. And I'm like, see what you did? Like now there's a line just so they can see if they got olives. Yeah. Did she come back and go, okay, I love you too? No. But she was just like, no olives. And then that was it, you know what I mean? But that's, you know, so of course I'm just busting his balls about ordering a burrito with olives. And it's just like, and then I mentioned it one night and then I saw the reaction of the crowd going, hey, like they're like, they were offended. Hell no, you never put, you know, so I was like, okay, maybe I got something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because people are like, ugh, olives in a burrito. And then some white people are like, oh, I like olives in burritos. You know what I mean? So it's sometimes I mess with that, but it's like, yeah, I don't, you know, it's like, if I'm going to, like, I guess, like, if I'm going to do some Latino material, it's going to be, it has to be different, right? It has to be like...
Can't be the same chocolate jokes.
Yeah.
20 of us living in a house.
Right, yeah. Because I don't... Also, it's like those stereotypes. Like, I feel like we said, you know, like, we're not all like that. You know, we're not all like, hey, fucker, I'm Molon. You know what I mean? I drive low raiders. You know what I mean? There's like, that's not all of us. You know what I mean? Like, so that to me is kind of hacky when you do like, or pick oranges, you know, shit like that. So, I mean, if it's funny, it's funny, but I try to stay away from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, those are like recycled jokes, you know?
Yeah.
Anyone can do it. There's those other hacky jokes, the really easy, low-hanging fruit dark jokes that everyone starts off with.
Right.
So, yeah, that's why I also, because I didn't really, like, I grew up here. My parents are from Peru, the full-on Peruvian, you know, Latinos. So they have their culture, and I'm growing up here. I don't have that same culture, you know? Right. Like, I went to visit a couple of times when I was younger, and I can go buy alcohol and cigarettes, for my grandparents, whatever. No questions asked. There you go. You can't do that here, you know? So that's one sign of like the culture difference. They grew up so differently. They have the stereotypes. I don't have those stereotypes. Right. I can't relate to when someone's like, making an orange picking joke, like I mean, once it's offensive a little bit. Two, like I can't relate to like, oh yeah, I was working on Sunday selling oranges at 7 because I'm 7. I can't relate to that.
Right.
I relate more to this American culture. And I grew up like in Summerlin around here, so I grew up more on the white preppier side.
Mm-hmm.
So I can relate to that culture a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I'm brown, so those stereotypes come up, like, oh, I expect you to speak Spanish to know a little bit about this, So yeah, I try to stay away from those jokes as well because one, I don't even know them.
True. I mean, it kind of like it does bother me, like because it's like being brown. People still see us like that. You know what I mean? Like that's why something like that joke that I got about like how I hate how white people come up to me and go, "Hola, amigo,"
yeah,
and you're like what the fuck? Like I speak English too, motherfucker. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
exactly, I got a joke just like that too. And I was in San Francisco actually, and then I just walked into a 7-Eleven and you just start speaking to me in Spanish. Not like a little bit; it's just full on sentence,
right?
And I make the same joke like. Why did he assume I speak it?
Right.
I do, but don't assume.
Yeah, so. Yeah. It's like, and I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. So some our people are like, only Spanish speaking or whatever, and then it's just but it's like, oh wait, let me do this decision, and then or like it's just something about it that I feel like they're kind of like putting us or looking down on us. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm wrong, but it feels that way. Like, hola, amigo, and then they just.
I wouldn't look at it as them putting down. I would look at them like just not knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've only been here maybe the last 50 years, I would say, where we're actually integrating, more. Before it was like we're on the outside, like, yeah, we're in the back just cooking and cleaning.
Right.
Now we're moving to the fronts. I mean, like I know, like one of the running jokes, like we're dishwashers,
Mm-hmm.
And I was working on this new joke, like now we moved up to bank tellers.
Yeah.
But any bank, who is it? Hispanic.
Yeah.
So like I feel like now we're just being integrated more, and then if you're not used to it, or don't see it, and now all of a sudden you do, you're like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like in those. It's just like in those movies where one random white person, Asian, whoever sees a Latino and they go like, "Hola, cómo estás?" Because they like really don't know.
True.
And it's so real in real life too. They just don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I gotta, sometimes I do gotta give them the benefit of the doubt and getting getting offended or whatnot. You know what I mean? Because I just, something you feel it like, nah, man, like we're not all like that. You know what I mean? Like we're not, and half of, like you said, like, half of the time we're, like you said, we're bank tellers, we're managers of this, you know what I mean? So that's what, like, I had this joke about, like, I applied for a manager position, but they still try to give me a broom and a mop. You know what I mean? So it's like, but I'm trying to say something like, like, no, I applied for a manager position. And it was like,
you can manage this broom and this mop?
Yeah, exactly. So they're like, so that's how ignorant they are. They're like, oh, so you're not cleaning? Like, no, like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's a lot of that stuff if I'm good, you know what I mean? But stand-up does make you want to be more culturally conscious, right? Like, yeah. So that's one thing is like, it's helpful, but I don't want to be preachy about it either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's with any joke, and you got a total line, like not go too offensive, but just enough. Not preach too much, just enough. Like find that perfect middle ground where like, oh, he's kind of being offensive, but it's funny.
Yeah,
he makes a good point. It's so funny,
Right. That's what. Yeah.
So like, so being like Latino, then, since the whole time you've been doing it, has it helped or hurt you in a way? Like, do you feel, because like back then, even now, like so there's not that many. So do you feel like you're like in a pond full of comics, there's a select few? Do you think that's beneficial or hurting?
I think it's beneficial because there's always somebody go, damn, we need a Latino, or still like you even see clubs that go, we got too many black guys on here. You know what I mean? And it's like I've seen that. They go, "Oh, can't put up another black guy." You know, so they're like, I'm like, I'm here. I'm not black. You know what I mean? So they'll put a Latino. So I don't know what it is. I mean, I guess they're old school ways or whatever. But some of the shows are like, no, we don't want to make it a urban whatever the fuck show. You know what I mean? So with the clubs on the strip and shit like that, because you know you get people here from the Midwest and whatever. But I think it's helped. It's helped because you know, especially if you're if you're in a show in a lineup of like white comic, well, you know what I mean, black comic, white comic, you know what I mean. So it's like you stand out for being different, and shit. Especially if you know it's if your material is there, you know what I mean. Like, so I think so. What do you think? You think it?
I think it can be beneficial, but I don't think it's beneficial here really. I haven't really been to the Laugh Factory. You know, Jimmy Kimmel's like they went there once, twice, shut down. You know, so it's definitely like when you have a small pool, I feel like you might get overlooked sometimes too.
That's true.
Because if there's a bunch of white comics, black comics, Asian comics, a whole bunch of them, you start thinking like, who should we get? And then you start thinking like, oh, that guy. And you start just snowballing to that group or whoever. So when there's a small pool, you know, like you and one other person, those names might not come up. You know, like, oh, we need one more comic, but they have these I don't know. I guess like in country, you know, people think of the United States, England, because we're the big countries.
Right.
People forget about the little countries because they don't hear them as often.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's why I feel like it would be hurtful. You know, if there was like a large group of us, like 10, 20 of us, and obviously no one's always hanging out at the same place. They're always spread out, you know? So they see you at LA Comedy Club. They see me at Laugh Factory, whatever, you know? They see Adam at Jimmy Kimmel's, and then they see 2 or 3 more with them. Like, oh, Adam, who's your friend? You know? Oh, do you have any other Latino friends? You guys are funny.
That's true.
When we're all at the one spot.
Yeah.
I've seen like LA I've seen you, I've seen Adam, I've seen Eric, I've seen Freddie, I've seen just all of us in one spot.
Right.
So that might be great for LA Comedy Club. Cool, they see all the Latinos. We got a pool. That's the only people who see it.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I did get in Laugh Factory like that. Like the host, the booker was like, we need a funny Latino. And then this was like back in like 2014 or something like that. And then Harry Basil was like, is there to host? So then everybody started blowing me up. Like, yo, you hit up Harry, you know what I mean? Go to Laugh Factory, so it was, that's the only time that it kind of like really, well, not the only time, but I see what you're saying though. Yeah, it would be like, if we're making noise, which we should, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we should just, I think people start realizing like, oh shit, like, it's not only fucking urban show or a fucking white show, whatever, you want to call it. But yeah, no, I see what you're saying now.
But I mean, like the good side, like you said, is such a small pool. You know, if they see you, then you're in high demand. Supply and demand. You're one of 3 Latinos. Not every single club is like, well, let's get Gabe. Well, he's booked because he's doing this show. He's booked until this show.
Yeah.
So there's a plus and a downside,
And the cool thing about it is like, yeah, we're all different, right? Like we're all like Adam's different. You know what I mean? Like everybody. So like for people to assume that we're like,
yeah, we don't want to hear the same chocolate jokes.
Right.
Like
yeah.
Which somebody was talking about another show they did where they're like, don't do meth head jokes. Everyone's like, let me try the meth head joke. Let me try mine, and it failed. Nobody's going to listen to the same.
Right.
Let me tell you about my tamales today.
Yeah, exactly.
My burritos. Yeah. I put olives in mine.
Yeah. It's like, it's not, but no, yeah, that's, and that's what, like, it's funny that you asked that because I do look forward to like, oh shit, he's another Latino comic. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, I want to hang out with him.
I mean, once it pops up, you're like, oh, it's my kind.
Yeah, I know. Oh shit.
Because you can't. Like, everyone's cool, but with your people, you can relate to things a little differently.
True that.
Okay, and then so following up on that, like on it hurting you or helping you, like I've heard your bits. You got a well variety of bits in there. You got like a like a club, like you got the mom joke, you know, which I don't want to like cover about just talk about yourself like because that's your material, but you got that one joke, and it covers about two different fields of it. You know, you got the burrito joke covers another field, you know, but like. Did you ever get booked for Latino shows where they're expecting to be full on Latino, like full on, whether it's why you're Mexican or why you're not Mexican, whatever? Do you ever come across those issues? Are you prepared for those, or are you not, or how does it work?
Nah, like them booking you for like
like one of those like
Univision shows.
Yeah, they kind of hey, come on, Gabe, it was 15 Spanish only.
No, I should though. A while ago, like years ago, I got booked for a what was it, a Latino graduation show or something like that. Or like some like for the college or some shit. But they wanted me to be like hell like Latino shit, like all chipilín and shit, you know what I mean? Like, or whatever, you know, all like fucking, you know, and it's like, that's not me, you know what I mean? And so they were like, oh, so I wrote like 20 minutes of like stuff about like graduating and, you know, usually like whatever, like people would think of this and, you know what I mean? Just like comparisons, blah, 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 and just trying to make it funny. And they were like, and I performed in front of the whole like it was like a room like this. So it was just like awkward. And it was like all these Latinos. It's like some Alma Latina group thing or whatever, right? So then I'm like, okay, so did my material, boom, boom, boom. Then it was like, they kind of like laughed and this and that. Then I sat down and they gave me like all this critique and shit. Well, you know,
they critiqued you after.
Yeah, dude, it was horrible because they were like, this is like when Obama got in office and they're like, you should talk about how like 70% of Latinos put Obama in office and this and that. And they're like, you should talk about like, you know, like, do you have like a tia that's like crazy? You know what I'm saying? I was just like, no. I was like, this is weird. Like, I was like, I'm not going to do this. Like, you hire somebody that's going to fucking whatever. But I pulled away and shit. I was just like, I didn't like how they, you know, we're trying to make you like.
They wanted the stereotype.
Yeah, and it was funny because it's like, it was crazy because it's like, wait a minute, you guys are like a, you know, all Latino group that is like celebrating Latinos graduating college, but then you want me to be like all fucking.
Yeah. Which one is it? Because we don't graduate, so pick one.
Yeah, yeah. So, but no, I'm not. I should be ready. You know what I mean? I should.
Yeah. I mean, because you can still do, I mean, especially now, you know, there's a new generation of Latinos. It's not the same ones that before. It's not like my parents, you know, like they speak English now, but it's still broken, you know? So they still watch movies with subtitles on them.
Mm-hmm.
But now there's a new generation that grew up here, born here, that they're just American as anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
But they still have some of those Latino background issues.
Right.
They still got the little man going up and down the street versus the ice cream man, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, would you go back and revisit some of those jokes now? Some of your newer, like, keep the current jokes you do now, but touch them up a little bit. Because, you know, we don't have to dig so deep into the stereotype now.
Right.
Because those kids are just like us now. They can flow both ways.
That's the cool thing about it, right? Like, you can just talk about anything. I think, like, I would rather get booked for who you are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not for what, like, you say. Like, because, I mean, obviously it comes with it, but, like, you know, of course people are going to book you for, like, what you say, because that's what we do, but, you know, I want them also to book you because you're different, you know what I mean? You're different and you're funny, right. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, let's book him because he sounds like this, you know what I mean? Like, he sounds like that, like.
Yeah. Which is great, you know, which is, like I'm saying, like, that one burrito joke, yeah, it hits a stereotype. Mm-hmm. It's just one of your jokes. Right. You got other jokes that hit other different parts, you know? So not caving in, you're definitely going to stand out. You know, like, let's get a Latino comic. Let's get Gabe. Well, he's not really Latino. Mm-hmm. But he's Latino, but he can throw in something different to the show. Right. He's going to break up the whole, you know, like I said, the same chocolate jokes, the same whatever jokes. He's going to break it up. He's just another variation of a Latino. Right.
Yeah, he's a Latino comic that
he's more a comic. He's not even Latino. He's just a comic,
right?
You know, so like now you got the Black Latino show going on, which congrats on that.
Right
like I said, there wasn't really anything Latino specified at all.
Yes,
and now there's the Black Latino shows. You're mixing two different vibes into one show. Like you're saying, so it's not completely urban or whatever. It doesn't really matter what it is, anyways. It's comedy,
right?
But you're hitting a demographic that wasn't really being shined on a whole lot.
Yeah, they weren't. Yeah, there was nothing. Like I thought about it back in the day. Like maybe I should do a Latino show, and then I'd be like, with who? You know what I mean?
And that I was thinking like the same thing too. Like when all this first time, like, yeah, I've never seen a Latino show. Like I've never, and I thought it'd be cool to throw one, and it's a Spanish speaking Latino show. Really hit that demographic good. Like, hey, there's comics out here.
Can you do your material all in Spanish?
I've never tried it, but I don't think it's impossible.
Right. I think if you sat down, because I feel the same way. Like if I sat down and translated it, and I would find out how to deliver it. You know what I mean?
I mean, honestly, with my style, like it'd be more me, honestly, just apologizing kind of like half the time, like, I don't even know if I'm saying this, or like I'm look at me, but look at me, like,
right?
You see what I'm wearing, but you see, but yeah, I mean, every joke is translatable.
True.
You gotta find the right way. Like I saw Felipe Esparza's new special on Netflix. He did it in English and Spanish.
Right, half and half, yeah.
It definitely loses a little bit in the meanings, but it's doable. It'd be pretty cool to actually be able to do those materials in other places too. Work to Mexico and do a Spanish show.
Yeah, that'd be dope, right?
And not have to change up your style at all. You're still doing the same jokes you've been doing that you're known for.
Yeah.
In a whole new language now.
Yeah, and is your Spanish good like that? Like you can speak fluent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can speak fluent, but you can tell when I'm struggling.
Same here.
Like
I struggle more than fluent.
Yeah, like with my wife, like she speaks Spanish. She's from Colombia, so she speaks Spanish. So I've been speaking more Spanish now, and I can tell. I'm sarcastic. We're all sarcastic.
Right.
English, I don't even have to second thinking. Like, just comes out of my mouth.
Right.
Spanish, I know I'm thinking about it. I've caught myself thinking like 1, 2, then I say it.
Yeah.
Because I'm literally saying it in English and then trying to figure it out in Spanish. And I feel like doing that would slow me down even more in Spanish. Now do I have to my reaction's off. So if someone in the crowd says something, I might not be as quick. And I'm processing the jokes twice in English, going to Spanish in my head. Yeah,
that's
But practice would obviously help no matter what.
Yeah, that's because I mean, just even practicing Spanish, because I need to do that more. You know what I mean? Like yeah, my girl, she speaks Spanish. She's from Mexico. She's fluent, but she tries to have days with me. Like she just speaks nothing but Spanish, and then sometimes fuck, how do you say this shit?
Bro, I made the mistake of just speaking Spanish with mine. Because I was like, all right, I'll be nice. I'll be that guy. I'll speak Spanish. And then I never switched back to English. So now, I'm just stuck in Spanish with her.
That's not a bad thing, though.
It's not a bad thing. I wouldn't say it's annoying, but sometimes I want to say something. It is hard. Yeah, sometimes I want to go back into English, and I'm like, say Spanish or whatever.
Oh, really?
I'm just slow at it. I can tell I'm slow. I don't know. It's like being stuck in traffic, and you're behind that slow car, and you want to switch over, but you don't. You don't. Right.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. I think it's the confident too, though. That's what fucks me up. That's what messes me up, because it's when you're growing up, you speak, because I was born here, and my parents spoke none of Spanish, so my first language is Spanish. But then they were learning English when I was in elementary. So we were all learning English together. So the Spanish kind of faded away. You know what I mean? So then, I got a little older, and I was like, I need to practice my Spanish, and then when you practice your Spanish, you get made fun of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then that kind of makes you I don't, and that's why people go, well, they should come to this country and speak English. No, it's something inside is that we just, maybe it's like that Latino machista shit, but Or I don't know, but we just don't want to feel like embarrassed and shit. You know what I mean?
I mean, I just think that's everyone. Nobody wants to
Yeah.
feel embarrassed.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. That when I speak Spanish in public, I'm like, because I've been told when I speak it, I sound white speaking Spanish. I sound like what just like if you heard me on the phone, you would not think I'm brown. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Really? I will see. I'm half Salvadoran, so it's not. I don't like my Spanish is not. And
different accent.
Yeah, it's different, but it's not. I don't speak. So like when I speak Spanish, it's not like how Salvadorans like no joda boss. You know what I mean? And they have that heavy but not yeah. They'd be like doing shit like that. You know what I mean? But I don't have that because my dad doesn't even have that. Okay. So the Spanish is like. And then how like some like Mexican Spanish is different. Like you got those híjole, those guys and or whatever. And then so it's kind of hard for me to speak Spanish because it's like it's just how I talk. You know what I mean? So some of it is like sometimes people are confused. Like, are you Puerto Rican? Are you Dominican? Like because it's like it's just the slang.
Yeah, I get that. Like same with the words. Like I don't know the words. They start talking slang in Spanish. Like I don't really know. I don't know those words.
Right.
I know the main ones. I just not along trying to pick up on it.
Yeah.
So trying to keep up in a conversation, I'm like, no good.
Yeah. It's like fuck. How do you say? Like my grandfather. He's looking at my turntable. He was like, what is this?
You're trying to explain to him.
Yeah. And I'm like, son, les ponen el disco.
You just give him
generic version. He's like, yes. And he's like, and I'm like thinking in my head, like, how do you say turntable?
Yeah. I know, I get that. And when I do that, I just show it. I'm like, well, let me show you.
And
there's and then they say, oh, es un que sea.
Yeah.
Like, that's the word.
Es una. I don't even know how to say it. Still, I'm sure it came to me, but
Google Translate. It's been helping me a lot.
True. Yeah, because sometimes I hit up my Korean friends in Korean and shit.
Oh shit!
But that's just because I just copy and paste.
That's true.
There you go.
I mean, it still helps,
Yeah,
it still helps. Well, back to your Latino show though. So yeah, again, congrats on having a new show. It's had a whole new demographic. What's that been like? Because I mean, half of it is Latino, half of it is the Black. You're combining two different groups.
Yeah.
So what's the struggle?
So I'm right now. I'm like, it's the second show. It's the second show we had last night. I wouldn't say there's too many struggles, other than getting more Latinos there. That was like
the big ones. That's like, because you had Jack Jr. That's on the poster.
Mm-hmm.
Ty was on the poster. I don't remember who else Latino was on the poster. So that's kind of
Davian. Okay. That's it. But yeah, who else is on the Ty? Yeah, Jack. That's it. Yeah.
So now you gotta go start reaching and like who's Latino again?
Yeah, it's like who can we have? So I think the purpose of the show is just try to have that name bring out more Latinos for the audience, you know what I mean? Like, and Latino comics that are trying to do it, you know what I mean? So, which is a cool concept that he does because it's like in the beginning, he has, it's 2 guest spots that for guys that are like, out there in the scene, trying to get up there, who are like strong openers, moving up to features or whatever. And then on the second show, Chris does the feature and the headliner. So Davian does the first part, which is like the Latino portion of it, and then he'll bring up like a Black comedian or a Latino comedian, you know what I mean, or even a white comedian, you know what I mean. So it's like, but we're trying to have that, trying to grow that more, you know what I mean, trying to grow the Latino comics more. So pretty much a spot for them to come and just try shit out. Like, it's not an open mic, but if you're Latino and you're trying to bring it, and
I mean, obviously have a little bit more credit than
yeah,
don't be like your first night comedy.
Yeah,
No, I think Irma was on the last show. Was he Irma Ruiz? Was she there?
Who?
Irma.
No,
I'm guessing not. I thought she was there. And I know she's been coming around a lot more. But I mean, it's interesting because I know like Latinos and like blacks, like we get along pretty well because we have like a lot of the same hardships and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can relate pretty well with some of the same jokes.
Yeah.
Because we're always like the ones being looked out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, oh, where do they go? You know?
Yeah.
So, having a show like that is, like I said, the Latino portion, boom, great. It's got a spotlight. And then you make another one that like merging, it's like combining superpowers together.
Yeah. And I like it though, yeah, because it's definitely like that. You know what I mean? Then like the 10 o'clock is more loose because it's like more people there, and then you're just they give more time. You know what I mean? So it has that club feel. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's not like an open mic where there's a bar in the back, and you know what I mean? It's like it's that club shit. You know what I mean?
We got the lounges and everything.
Yeah, so it's not bad, man. You gotta go over there. You gotta stop by and get some time. But I think, that's the purpose of the show, is like just a spot for us to grow, you know what I mean? To entertain our people and more, you know what I mean? So,
I mean, definitely, yeah. Because I mean, I keep repeating it, but there's really no spots for us, like. I know. Yeah, like I go to the mics, it's mainly just me as far as Latinos, Well,
yeah, that's like, even like when I posted, what you tagged me yesterday, and then my chick was like, are you gonna do the podcast? And I was like, there's another Latino does comedy? And I was like, yeah, I know. Yeah, so she was like, so she even knows. She's not really, in the comedy scene, but she just knows.
Yeah, I'm hoping now, like most things, like like with the car, you hear a model, and all of a sudden you see it everywhere.
True.
I'm hoping now with this, like now we're gonna see a bunch more Latinos coming. Like, wait a minute, I'm Latino. Like who knows? Like there might be like 3 comics, 3 black comics who are Latino. We didn't even know because they just, I don't know, because their last name is Smith, but really,
right?
Half Salvadorian.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there probably is some more, but it's definitely gonna grow. I mean, with everybody moving out here, you know what I mean? Like it's gonna, I'm sure. But I mean, a lot of Latino comics are like LA.
Yeah.
So
you got to really fish for them. Like, hey.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't really think you got to really fish for them because they're coming to Vegas for shows anyways.
True.
So I think now you just give them that new door, like, hey, you're Latino. I'm not trying to say like only Latinos, but you basically got a guaranteed spot to come now.
Yeah, and yeah, and in Texas also, right? They majority. I'm saying because in the Bay Area there wasn't like that many Latino comics either.
Dante, I think Dante's Mexican or something.
Dante?
Yeah. Dante Verdusco.
And then there's
I don't know, like names just keep popping up.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, now we're seeing them. There's like 20 out there and shit. We don't even know.
Just come to us, guys. Come to us.
Shit, yeah. Carlos Rodriguez. Yeah. So he moved out here and he's strong. He's a strong act. But yeah, that's a cool thing, man. It's like, like I said, comedy does make you want to be more like culturally conscious and shit, So I like it.
Now is Black Tino ever just gonna be a Tino, its own show, just pure Hispanic, or?
Shit, if we run one, I mean, if there's enough Latinos, we should. Like,
I mean, now that we've been talking and like names have been coming in my head, I'm like, well, there's kind of enough to do at least a weekly show rotation.
Or maybe like once a month.
Yeah.
Like Latino Jam or some shit. You know what I mean?
I really think like a Spanish speaking show would.
That would be a challenge, dude.
It would be a challenge. You'd have to find some strong comics who are comfortable with Spanish. But there's no one here. There's no Spanish shows at all. And there's a bunch of Latinos out here who only speak Spanish or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they would love to go. Like I said, earlier, my parents, they still watch movies with subtitles. So that's why my dad doesn't really go to movie theaters. Because there's all subtitles. So he's not really watching the movie. So unless it's an action movie, he's just going to fall asleep.
Oh, shit.
So there's a bunch of same people who want to go to shows, but they can't because it's in English. Like my girlfriend even says, like, I think you're funny on the jokes I understand. But when you speak it, it's too fast for me. So like, I'm sure there's a bunch of others who are like, I want to go to the show, but I don't know what they're saying. Yeah. I don't know what they're saying.
That would be something different. That would be a challenge that I wouldn't mind taking. You know what I mean?
I don't even think it's a challenge, man.
No?
I don't even think it's a challenge. I think the challenging part, which you're already struggling with anyways, is where are the Latino comics in Vegas?
Yeah.
You got to outsource them. You got to bring them here, which is cool. But if you do a monthly show, that might work out great.
Do you think that the humor is different though? Like, do you think it's no?
No, I've listened to the shows in Spanish, and it's the same.
It's the same.
If it's told correctly, like I said, Felipe, have you seen Felipe?
Yeah. I watched pieces of it, but
I've watched both the whole way through. He loses some of the jokes in Spanish because they don't care well from the English, which I think that's what he did. I think personally, I just think he did his jokes in English, then translated them, and he lost some things in there. But the joke for the majority, the same punchline hits in Spanish as English.
Would you now that you mentioned this, I kind of want to just write 5 minutes in Spanish and just try that over mic, even if there's not Spanish people talking.
Just say your joke in Spanish. Like, I don't even think you need to write it. Just say it in Spanish. If you say the olive joke in Spanish,
right? Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, translate them.
Oh yeah,
translate like 5 minutes of it.
Yeah,
and then just do it. I want to see if I could do that. That would be. Would you be down to do that?
I'll be down to do that. Yeah.
Like, just go and just be like, I want to do these jokes. Like, if you got 10 minutes, do 5 minutes. Do like Felipe style. You know what I mean? Like, do 5 minutes and just be like, hey guys, I don't care if you guys don't speak Spanish, but I'm gonna do these jokes in Spanish. That'd be, even if, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. See what.
I think it would work. I think it'd be great. I don't see.
I'm gonna try that. I think I'm gonna try that.
Like, I know I work in a high school. A lot of the Hispanic kids speak Spanish. And I know their parents don't speak Spanish if they're speaking Spanish. So I just see a whole demographic not being tapped into right now. Like, honestly.
Yeah. Because I mean, it would. The only thing that would probably be like, that would throw me off if I get like a Spanish heckle.
Leave it up to the bouncers and the staff.
Yeah, right.
Just like a regular club. Está hablando.
Yeah.
No entiendo.
Dile que se calle.
Yeah.
But it would be.
I'm gonna call. If I get heckled, I'm gonna call this one right now. If I can't get to it, I'm gonna just switch up. Like, I'll start talking in English, man. Just calm down. I'll mess up the show for everybody.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. Like,
I don't even. How do you say comebacks in Spanish?
I don't.
Yeah. See, like, I don't even have comebacks in Spanish.
I don't either, man. Like, I don't. Shoot. You know what? We'll learn it. We'll figure it out when it happens.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've been doing this for a while. It's been great. I know you got things to do. And I don't like to go too long with the show because then people stop listening.
I know, right? Yeah.
But the last question is, what advice would you give yourself then that you know now?
Fuck, that's good. I'll probably just say read more.
Read more?
Read more. Like, read more books. You know what I mean? Like, just read.
Like comedy books or just books in general?
Books in general. Yeah, just read. Because you'll have more to talk about. You know what I mean? You'll be well versed. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, like, if you, like, I would just tell myself, like, yo, just fucking get educated more. You know what I mean? And
that's a very good point because I'm not very topical. I don't really know what's going on in the world.
Me either.
But reading a book, plenty of people read books. Books get me into movies.
Yeah.
You learn things from books, and that's.
Yeah, I would say, just read more.
Yeah, all right, cool. Get education on
this. Yeah, stop. Yeah. Because I'm a dummy when it comes to reading. Or, you know what I mean? It's like,
I haven't read a book since elementary school.
Right.
I think the last book I read was the second Harry Potter book. And I only got like one chapter and I gave up. I'm done.
Yeah. And I think, like I said, like, it expands your mind. You know what I mean? Like, if you're picking up books and just reading them, and just, so much.
Dude, very true. I've seen a lot of comics, clips and specials, and they're talking about a book or a movie or something because they're expanding themselves. So reading a book, it'd be helpful.
Yeah.
I got one Harry Potter, like one little tag that I throw into something else. And I thought about, maybe I can throw in another tag. because there's a lot of people who love Harry Potter.
Right.
But then I'm like, I don't know anything else about. I've seen the movies. I don't know anything else. But if I read it, I'm sure I could have something. So if one day I'm like at some convention, at a Harry Potter convention, I'll be like, yo, I got you.
Yeah. See, I think so. I think that'd be some good advice.
No, definitely read, guys, read.
I'm gonna go home and read a book.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm eager to fuck my kid in.
Yeah, it sounds good on paper, but no.
Right.
All right,
cool, man.
Shit, man. Thanks for being on the show.
Appreciate you.
I'll definitely have you come back to do that first half because the whole, where to find your confidence or your ease at on stage. That was good. Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, dude. It's like, I'm constantly like trying to like fix myself. So yeah, we'll say that for another mic or whatever.
Definitely cool. Well, thanks for watching. I hope this looks good. I'm not gonna lie.
It does. It looks dope.
It looks good, but I was like looking at you. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. I'm still in the first season. Thank you guys.